Hello, welcome to another episode of Sports Sessions from the Fishtank podcast. Joined again by Sheg, Leon, and Rory. And we're going to do a quick rundown of this summer's transfer signings in the Premier League football. Who wants to kick us off? Sheg?
Yep. Well, so what today is the deadline. It was at 7 o'clock earlier today, weren't it?
It is indeed.
It's very, very good transfer window this summer. I hear it's been like record breaking. You know, there's been a few sticky ones, there's been a few obvious ones, but Liverpool, man, I think they've smashed. At first I thought Arsenal had the best transfer market. Yeah, I thought they had a really good one with the players they got rid of and the players they brought in. But Liverpool on the final day have just smashed it, mate, with two massive signings, mate.
Well, the Gahey didn't go through, did it? I don't think.
Oh, did it? I thought Gahey went through.
No, I don't think so. I think the manager said, if he goes, I quit. And they were like, all right, bro. We won't send him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
For real? That must have been late. So, Isaac one, yeah. That one,
amazing.
Come on. Liverpool are now favourites to win that league now.
That's a huge bit, unless he gets injured, but that's a huge piece of business right there. And I think, I still think, like you said earlier, I think between the two teams, they probably just edged us. But I do feel like over the course of the season, we've strengthened the squad in a way that I feel like we've never done or haven't done, at least probably for a decade. This is the first season where I feel like Arsenal coming into this season right now with the signings that they've made. Even they were still signing people yesterday, which I was surprised,
My team. I can talk about my team because...
Oh, yeah, you guys won this weekend as well. That's the only reason why you want to talk about your team. Go on.
No. I'm West Ham, so I keep an eye on these sort of things. But we did. We won our first game yesterday against Nottingham Forest, and to be honest, I am not happy because of the performances the last 2-3 games, losing to Wolves in the Carabao Cup after winning. The result against Chelsea, and the worst result I think was the first game of the season when Sunderland had knocked free. But so us beating Notts Forest, to be honest, Notts Forest is one of those teams that is a bit of a bogey team for us. So I thought, I was surprised that we won like that. Yeah, I just didn't want to lose. Do you know what I mean? To win was a bonus. But you was talking about injuries and stuff. But so we've just signed what's his name, Callum Wilson. Yeah. From Newcastle. Yeah, we got him on a free. Yeah, and the thing about him, he's one of these players that anytime he played against West Ham, he's scoring at least one goal. No matter which team he's playing for, anytime he plays against West Ham, just bet that he's going to score, and you'll be quitting. Now he's come to play for West Ham. I'm just continue that, yeah. And he had his first game. And he played. He was sharp. He was unlucky not to score, I think, with the movement. He's still got the movement. But with Callum Wilson, he's very good, but he's very injury prone. You understand? He's very injury prone. So, and I think if we'd have got one more striker.
Well, you got Fernandez from Southampton. He's a good player.
Yeah, we got Fernandez, but the one that we got in July. What was his name? I've written it down here somewhere. I forgot my proper glasses. These are my posing glasses, if you didn't know. I'm a joker still. No, but, I think that I'll be happy, if West Ham just build on their team and, if they ever got I'm thinking top 15, I'll be happy. No, I'm only
15.
I tell you who's a baller in your team.
Top 10.
I tell you who's a baller in your team, bro. I think you just signed this summer. I'm not sure if you did. I think you did. Is that Diop? Is on the left? Is he like a left wing back?
Left wing back. Yeah.
He's a baller, bro.
All right. Oh, hold on. Enough about West Ham. Let's speed it up a bit.
What do you mean?
Leon. What's that with Manchester United?
You're going to have 5 minutes West Ham, yeah? 10 minutes Man United, and 100 minutes Arsenal.
I'm going to be brief, bro. I'm going to be brief. Well, obviously, you guys, Man United is the most acknowledged team in the world, right? Like, everyone knows what's happening with Man United. Even if you're not a fan of Man United, you know what's going on. Yeah.
What happened?
We're talking about transfers. You know what happened. So, okay, the top 3. They cost, I think it's like 200 mil, over 200
mil. Sorry to cut you. But if you're going to talk about Man United, yeah, how can you try and side skip Grimsby Town?
No, we're talking about transfers.
Yeah, but you can't just. No, I'm not having it.
I swear we're talking about transfers.
Yeah, we are. But come on.
But let me talk about the transfers, then we can get to the Grimsby.
Grimsby was a madness.
We can get to that. It's here. It's etched in my mind. It's not going anywhere. But let me talk about the transfers. Yeah. Okay. So Cunha, Mbeumo, Šeško. Top 3 there for me are great signings. Šeško, I mean, is unproven in the Premier League, but he's a young guy as well. So I feel like we've bought into potential with in terms to him. I'm not going to turn around and say I've watched loads of games with him. I haven't. I just watched his best bits on YouTube, and he scored some really good goals. He kind of reminds me of I wouldn't say he has the tidy feet like Zlatan, but I think his IQ with in terms to movement is very similar of a Zlatan.
Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
He's got a shot on him. He's got a shot on him as well, though.
Yeah, he's got a shot on him. He's got 2 feet. He's a good player, but I wouldn't say
he's good. I mean, we were trying to buy him as well, but I didn't know you rated him that high.
I'm like, obviously Zlatan's is
If you say that to Zlatan,
but I'm saying. I already stated that he hasn't got the feet of Zlatan. Zlatan scored some amazing goals where he took on bare players and scored. He hasn't got that element to him, but I'm talking about movement and obviously size and stuff like that. He's got a good IQ. His movement is good. With that turns of his game is similar to Zlatan. Cunha.
Where did he come from, bro? Which club did he come from?
Leipzig, in Germany. I think we was looking at him when he was playing for that team in Austria first, though, and then he went to Leipzig first. But now we got him. Anyway, Cunha. Everyone knows about Cunha. He's a bad boy. At the end of the day, I think I don't know. I heard Arsenal fans wanted him there, but he didn't go to Arsenal. He's a big Man United fan. It was his dream to play for Man United. Now he's at Man United. And Mbeumo for me was a surprise. I didn't really check for Mbeumo that much when he was playing for who was it? Was it Brentford, yeah.
I thought it was Grimsby.
But he's a good player, and he has scored 2 goals for us. Do you get what I'm saying? Even in that game against Grimsby, he scored a goal, and he scored a goal the other day. So he's at the moment he's proving his worth. And then also we just got the new goalkeeper today from I can't remember.
Wow, that was well needed.
Yeah, we need it. But he's got the same symptoms of the other keepers, bro. What are you talking about?
I was going to say, are you not
come for corners? I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, it's whatever they want to do. I don't know why they're doing that. But
what happened with the Emi Martinez thing? Like, how did
I thought we was going to get Emi Martinez. To be fair, it was either him or the other guy who we've got now. Is it Layman's? I think his name is. But that's another player who's like potential and like prospect. You know what I mean? So we've got 1 in goal. We've got 1 up front. So with Man United, it's not about this season. I feel like they're looking to finish a certain place in the season, and they're looking to build upon what he's brought in this season. Because you got to understand, the majority of the players that are still in that team are not his players.
But don't you think Amorim's going to be the first manager sacked? I don't think. I think it's going to be Potter or Amorim.
I don't think Amorim's going to get fired.
You don't think so?
Nah. Not like Ten Hag got fired today, bro. He played 2 games. Man got kicked out of Leverkusen, bro. Later, bald-headed fraud.
I think Cunha is going to be your best signing. I think Cunha is going to be dope.
Yeah, so what are you saying, Sheg? You're feeling confident about West Ham then this season?
Well,
top 10 at least.
I'm hopeful for that, a top 10. I'll be hopeful if we get 10th. I mean, we got rid of some players that have been at the club for a long time, and I thank them for their service because, you know, I'm not one of these supporters that likes to slag off players when they go, but but the big one was.
Why are you saying that like I'm doing that?
No, Antonio. I want to speak a little bit about Antonio.
Okay.
Because West Ham released him.
What? Are you serious?
Recently, yeah. But it was a mutual thing. He was offered a contract, but I don't know what that contract was. But he didn't accept the contract, so he's been released. But there's been players like, and I thank him so much for his services. He's a quality striker for us. Antonio, yeah. Fabiański, ex-Arsenal boy.
Fabiański, he's gone now.
Yeah. Finally, he's been released, but he's done a service for West Ham. Yeah. Zouma, I ain't going to say much about Zouma, but he's finally been released. Yeah.
Is that the cat guy?
Hey!
Yeah.
Who is it? Ings. Oh, Danny Ings, he's off. He's gone.
Oh, wow. So you really had a clear out then?
Yeah. Kufau, he's gone. Cresswell, he's gone. Luizao, he's gone. And we still got a few out on loan, But yeah, they're all of those ones, they've just been released. No call. Do you know what I mean? But we have obviously the kudos man. He went to your mates over at Spurs, White Hart Lane. Kudos. And he's playing well for them, he is.
Man. He's looking good.
Yeah, he's looking good. He was looking good when he was kissing that badge as well. he was kissing the cock. That's what he was doing. Kissing the cock. Yeah. Go on. But anyway, even he's done a service for us. But did you see Pacatek's celebration?
Oh, it was cold. That was cold.
That was a very good celebration.
Man did what? Are you mad?
And that was Aston Villa. Aston Villa trying to sneak in for a quick one.
No, that celebration was cold.
Yeah, and also we they say we've done a daylight robbery because we nicked Leicester's keeper. Yeah, the young keeper, Mads Hernanderson or something. Mads. And so basically we got him for something like 18 mil, which is quite cheap for a Premiership goalkeeper, even though they're not Premiership anymore. But you know what I mean? So like the Leicester, they're not happy with that, but that was a good deal for us. So yeah, I am optimistic that we, finish respectably after this bad start that we've had. I don't think it's like it's like Tottenham. Yeah, they cannot carry on winning like this. You saw it in it last week. When Tottenham started, you think, oh, Tottenham are going to do a thing, but
no, I'm never thinking Tottenham are going to do a thing. That's never.
They always look like they're going to do a thing, and then they just fail. But
they have 2 games, and then it all goes downhill. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my little West Ham roundup,
Okay, no, that's good. It sounds good. It sounds positive. I'm happy that you might get a good season this season. You can be part of the banter because I know towards the end of, not even towards the end, from the middle of last season, we didn't hear from you for at least half a season. There was no banks, no nothing.
Oh, and you disappeared. Had you heard from Leon?
I was busy, man. What are you talking about? I was busy.
Win, lose, or draw, I'm there.
Don't forget.
I had phone issues.
We finished above you lot anyway, and we probably will this season as well. Hopefully.
We'll see.
I think Chelsea had a good window, and I think they will be up there, thereabouts. They got in, what's his name? João Pedro, Delap. Although, did Delap get injured the other day?
Yeah, so do you know what happened with that? Do you know what happened with that? Right, so
you're talking about Nicholas Jackson, innit?
Yeah, Jackson. Yeah. Oh my God, he thought he was going to Bayern Munich. I think he actually
he flew there for the medical, bro. He flew there for the medical.
He actually got on the plane. He was
actually.
Is
this the one you were telling me about, Rory? When the guy said planes don't go backwards.
The plane don't go backwards. But he's actually
him back.
I think he sold him. I think they sold him today.
No, he's staying.
No, he's on a loan with an obligation to buy.
No, they didn't sign anything. So because they didn't sign anything, he went for the medication, but he didn't sign anything.
So he's
Do you
back
get what
at
I'm
Chelsea.
saying? Yeah, so Chelsea sent him over there for the medical, but they didn't sign anything off to say,
okay. I thought I saw today that
so when Delap got injured now, they said, nah, we want him back, mate. Do you know what I mean? So he had to fly back.
But I think their window, I think what they do well, which we don't do, and what Liverpool do well, is the selling aspect. Because the amount those two clubs sell, they can go again in January. Where Arsenal is just like, because we can't sell, it's going to be loans. If we can do a loan deal, if we can do anything like that in January, then we will. But those other two clubs...
I'd be surprised if we buy anyone for another 2 years after this summer. This summer was like Christmas. Like I said, I've never experienced it like this before, where they've actually spent money. I mean, don't get me wrong, we bought Rice, and that was a lot of money. That was a huge buy, and Rice has actually come through for us. But this season, it felt different. It felt like there was targets, and I think it's because we actually got the people that we wanted to get before the transfer window opened. Because normally what happens is we talk about these people, we drag it on for the whole transfer window, and then we get the disappointing, we're not going to get them at the end. Apart from Alexander, he's the only player really this season that we targeted that we didn't bring in. You know, so, and don't get me wrong, it would have been great if we got him, but we did get our striker that we were actually after, which is Gyökeres. You know, we did get Eze, which is amazing to me. I'm excited to see what becomes of that. I'm probably more excited about Eze than I am with Gyökeres for some reason. I just feel I feel like there's a vibe with him that's going to be ridiculous. I think because
it's the history.
The history of it, the fact that he's an Arsenal fan as well, the fact that he wants to play for the club, everything about it just says to me, these are the kind of players I want playing at Arsenal. So, and don't get me wrong, I think Gyökeres is going to be amazing. I mean, he will score goals. But and I think even this weekend, I thought it was disappointing not to get the win, but there was no stopping that goal. That goal was amazing. I had to say straight off, I'd take my hat off to that. That free kick was on point. But I do feel like we still looked strong. It could have easily been a draw. There's no reason why that couldn't have been.
Can I ask you a question? With in terms to your signups, you've got quite a few signups. I think they're all quality, and it's not like quantity over quality. It's both. It's quantity and quality, and I think you've got a really good bench. What sign? Obviously, you said Eze is a good signing. Apart from Eze, what do you feel is your best signing of this window?
Yeah, including Eze.
I think for me, the two best, the most needed was the striker. If he comes through like his resume says, which at the moment is 2 goals in 3 games, so can't complain, right? If he comes through like his resume says, I'm a happy dude. Because we've needed a striker for how many seasons? We got the striker we wanted. He's got a good goal ratio. So if he does what he says he's going to do, and he's got the cockiness, to me, he looks like he wants to score goals. He's got a point to prove. I like to see that. He's got a bit of an edge. I'll be happy with that. Eze, for me, I think, is the more exciting, because I just didn't think we were going to get him. I really didn't think we were going to get him. I thought it was just
he was going Tottenham.
I didn't even think he was going Tottenham. I mean, I did when they announced it, but I'm saying he was a player that I thought they were just chatting shit. Like, we were going to sign him, but we're not really going to sign him before the window closes. I couldn't see it happening. And then, obviously, the Tottenham thing got mentioned, and I thought, that'll be the worst thing that could happen if he goes to Spurs. Which then, at that point, I definitely didn't think we were signing him. So to then turn all that around, which is so unlike Arsenal, we don't do that. We're never the club that does those things. You know, even with the Gyökeres thing, I thought, okay, we're probably not going to get him or Šeško. That was my thought behind that, because I know once it drags out that long, Arsenal usually go for this madness where we end up with no one at the end of it. And that's what's happened for the last 3 or 4 seasons. So
did the SA signing, right? Was it more sweeter because of the situation of the Tottenham thing? Because Tottenham thought they had it.
It definitely added. It definitely added a bit of sugar.
Sweetener.
Of course it did. Of course it did. And it's going to be even better when he scores against them. That's what's going to add to it even more. Like, he's going to be the most booed player on the pitch when we play Spurs. There's no doubt about it. But there's something about Eze. I like the homegrown guys that want to play for Arsenal. I'm always going to put them slightly above any other player, because I just feel like when it comes to those big games and those big moments, the derbies, the cup games, whatever, we need those guys because those guys get it. They really do understand what it means to win those matches. You know, I mean, even his performance last season in the FA Cup, like, you know, playing for Palace, like you could see that team wanted it. That team wanted it. You know what I mean? And that we need a bit more of that. We need a bit more of that kind of grit. And I think we brought in players this season that get that, and they are going to perform in that manner. And it's just a matter of whether it clicks. I wasn't really expecting in the first few games for all of it to start clicking straight away. I don't think you're going to see this team kind of turn it on until December, to be fair. I just feel like there's a lot of new players in there that need to gel. So you add 5 new players to a team, that's half your team. So they need to understand each other. They need to start gelling together. They need to learn each other's runs, pace, speed, all of that stuff. Their through balls, their passing, and the way Arsenal play, that's not something you can just do in a week, you know. And because we signed a lot of these dudes right near the end of the window, so they haven't really had time to do that yet. And I feel like give them a couple months.
It's like all the new signings for all the clubs. You know, you've got to give everyone a couple of months.
Yeah,
but what I was going to say,
but we play a different style of football, though.
All right, mate. All right. Listen, let me just tell you, I will give Arsenal credit, for one thing. For many, many things. I do like their style of football. I do like the team. I do. Even though the only thing is I do banter a lot because I know a lot of Arsenal supporters. But do you know what? I saw something so much quality from Arsenal. Did anyone see the Ian Wright interview with Eze?
Yeah.
And then he brought on the God.
Henry.
Come on, man.
To pass the message on. Yeah, that was nice.
That nearly brought tears to my eyes, and I don't even support us.
Brought tears to my eye.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That was so. I'm thinking, This man could never. And then I used to think. Then I started to think to myself, was he having a laugh with Tottenham? Like, you know, the day could have been.
He was trolling.
I genuinely thought the same thing because when you now look at the whole deal and how it went through, there's kind of no way he could have been going to Tottenham. Like that it was almost like I said to someone else in work, I said, did he do that as a bluff to Arsenal to speed up the Arsenal deal? Like he could have been, instead of trolling Tottenham, using Tottenham to speed up our deal, because he was like, well, if they think I'm going to go there, they're not going to have that. There's no way Arsenal's going to have that. So they're going to have to sign. It's like a checkmate. Either you sign me or I'm going to go Spurs and I'm definitely going to be scoring against you. So, and we will hate that. We would hate that forever if that was the guy that we knew we could have signed. And we know he's quality. He's quality. So it was almost like, I don't know if it was a tactical
apparently
thing.
The contract was in front of him, and he called the Arsenal guys up and was like, "Look, it's happening now. This is literally it. The last chance.
That's what I'm saying.
Say something now, or I'm going to sign."
I'm not saying I'm not saying that they didn't offer him. I'm just saying I don't think in his mind he was ever signing that. He just saw it as an opportunity to say, "Okay, I can use this as leverage. I can use this as proper leverage."
I think what the signing does, I think what the Eze signing does is it gives opposition teams a lot more to think about, because now whenever we play anyone last season, they all knew that ball's going from Ødegaard straight to Saka. Our right side bias was so high that everyone knew double up, triple up on him, and then they're just going to recycle the ball back around, and it's going to come back to Saka again eventually. With him on the opposite side, it's now like, okay, you can't afford to cheat and have an extra man on that side. Yeah, you need to spread your players. So it's just going to open up the pitch for us. So I think it's the signing we needed to make. Zubimendi, again, is a signing we needed to make because of the number 5. Yeah. And the striker is the signing we need to make. I think Arsenal made signings that we needed to make. We didn't really get any like outgoings, just loans. But I think Arsenal's business in terms of players coming in it's unusual to get the extra player that we need all the time.
Who did you get rid of? Who did Arsenal get rid of?
I've got a list, actually. I've got a list, unless Rory knows off the top of his head. I did have a quick look earlier today.
So I know we got so the number 5.
So we got rid of Tierney.
Tierney. Okay.
Jorginho. Nuno Tavares.
Left back.
Thomas Partey, Tommy Yasu.
Why? Did his contract end, Partey? Or was it legal?
Yeah, I think it's the case and the contract, and I think it's everything.
So where's he gone? Has he gone Germany?
He's gone to Spain. He's in Spain. He's playing for Villarreal.
Carl Hayne.
That's a big drop.
Ishmael Kabia. And the problem with this, when I'm looking down the list, free, undisclosed.
Yeah. It's all free. Even today, I think Reece Nielsen went on loan. I think Vieira's gone on loan with an obligation. I think it's all just loans. There's no actual fee coming in.
But then players coming in, we've got Kepa from Chelsea, which was 5 mil. So that was a nice bit of business. Zubimendi, Norgard, Madueke, Mascara, Gyökeres, and Eze. I mean, that's big. And most of those players are going to be playing in the first team. So, and then obviously we've got Max Dowman, who you can't forget about. The guy's he's amazing. He's a kid that's just showing players his speed, his skill. He's already drawn 2 penalties in the 2 games he's played. I'm excited to see what he can do. And the fact that Arteta's playing him says to me that they all see something in him at training or whatever, because he's young. The guy's in school. He's doing his GCSEs this year. That's crazy. And he's on the Arsenal pitch playing in the first team. So, yeah, I'm excited to see him. He's kind of like a new signing because for most people, they haven't even heard of him. So, it'd be interesting to see what he can do.
Don't you think it's crazy? Like, some of the teams spent so much money, and then you got other teams that hardly did any business whatsoever, but they probably could. They just didn't really do much in the market.
They could be waiting for January, it's really weird, just to see what's going on and trying to get through half of the season.
So they've got to think ahead as well. They've got to think ahead. You can't just think of. They're thinking of not just this season, and they're thinking of next season as well. It's when they're buying these players, and releasing players, because they have to think about things like injuries and stuff like that. And that's why you have to have a good, decent squad. All of the players should be able to play the first team at a drop of a hat. You shouldn't have some. Do you know what I mean? There should be all of a quality standard. But the thing with me is like, okay, being realistic. I can't see West Ham challenging for any Premiership titles this year, right? So I would really want Arsenal to win it because they're a London team. Most of my mates support them. And they play good, entertaining football. And they've been second twice, like in consecutive years.
3 times.
Is it the first?
3 now, dude. It's 3.
Is it 3?
Yeah. It's 3.
Now, so hear this. So hear this now. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this has got to be their year, but there's something about because there's no excuses. If they like the bar is so high for Arsenal that anything but winning is going to be counted as a failure, and Arteta will go if they don't win any silverware this day.
I think he'll go.
I don't think he'll
I can't imagine. What do you mean?
I think he's got. I think
the lifeline is Liverpool. I think because Liverpool spent $500,000 in like one window, they spent like 450 mil or something like that in one window.
So
I think the only reason why Arteta will go is if they finish outside the top 4, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, because don't forget, that's the only thing that got Wenger out of the job, is he always qualified for Champions League. The first season he didn't. That was the first season he left. It was like all those 20 years, that's all he had to not do was finish 4th. And it was all a big joke back in the day. You finish 4th, you finish 4th, finish 4th. But now when people look at finishing 4th, it's a serious business. It ain't easy to get into the Champions League. The fight for it is insane. But I definitely think, going back to what you said about squad, that's the main difference this season, is we do actually have a squad, not just a team. We had 11 players for the last 3 years, and out of those 3 years, we've had half of those players injured. We had Saka out for long stints last season, Ødegaard as well. The back as well, Gabriella, Saliba. We've had problems, but I think this season we have got backup. We definitely got backup. It's how he uses that and how he utilizes these players. Because I think that's the hardest part. Is I think the part where he gets questioned a lot is, does he actually know how to do that part as a manager? Does he know when to bring on the people? Does he know when to change it up? I feel like in the Liverpool game, personally, I think he made a bad decision not playing Eze. Like, that was my personal decision. And Ødegaard. Like, why are your two most creative players not on the pitch to win the game? I think he
Ødegaard was injured though, no? He was playing with an injury.
He had a knock, but he still brought him on. So if you're still going to bring him on and he's still on the bench, then he can play. Like, otherwise, don't put him on. It's as simple as that. But switch it up, do something. You can't have no creativity against Liverpool. I think he tried to get a draw out of Liverpool, and he almost did. But I think he went there to get a draw. Liverpool came to win. So
I think Ødegaard still hasn't got over that injury that he had.
That's what I said. He's different.
No. He looks a totally different player. He's still not over it, bro. I think he's still.
Which is where I think it's going to switch up, because we've got players that can move around. They do play in certain positions, but we've got players that can fill those boots. Like, they can move around. We've even got Ethan. Don't forget Ethan as well. Like, he's ready to go, and he's biting at the bit to get on the pitch. Like, you can see it every single time he plays. He wants to cut inside. He wants to do something, and also that's not even his position as well, is it?
But he can play. He can play Ødegaard's position, and he can play Saka's.
That's what I'm saying. So
he can play both.
If you interchange Ethan with Ødegaard, let Saka come back on his position, then you got Saka, Ødegaard. Saka, Ethan, Eze as your three, and then you got Gyökeres in there as well as a diamond up front. That's a dangerous four. That is a definite dangerous four. All four of those players can score goals in mad ways. So
I think he missed a trick with the Liverpool game, because with Ødegaard carrying that knock, you can put an Eze in the 10. You can put Ethan in the 10. You can change it up and put someone else in that 10 without then it becoming the story. Oh, you dropped your captain to put this player in. Like, he could have changed it up, but he went with Moreno, who he knows, all right, he can play midfield. And it was kind of like, you had the opportunity to actually add something different in that game.
That's where he needs the balls. That's where he needs to be a manager. And
everyone wanted to see as a start. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Even the neutrals. Yeah?
It's true.
Everyone wants to. Yeah.
But moving on from Arsenal, that game, hold on. So, go on. No,
I feel like that game could have went either way. And for me, like, that wonder goal was absolutely, that free kick was absolutely out of this world, man. It was amazing. But what I'm trying to say is the narrative probably would have changed if Arsenal would have. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I've heard Liverpool were playing rubbish in that game. Do you get what I'm saying? And when I watched the highlights, I think Arsenal were in the game. They were unlucky not to either win or draw the game, personally.
We were doing nothing. But I think, unfortunately, I think he should have just brought Eze on earlier. It's as simple as that. He should have had the whole half to play. Like, you can't, a player like that who you know is dying to score. Like, in his mind, as a player, there'll be no bigger moment than coming on in this match with 45 minutes to go and scoring against Liverpool. And he's going to try his hardest to do that. He had one chance and then he scored. He was in the box. So he didn't have much time. But, he had more.
The fairy tale was written. But Arteta didn't give him the opportunity.
He didn't give him the opportunity.
Yeah, off the back of like doing it against City in the cup, doing it against Liverpool in the Charity Shield and stuff. It's like he literally just played them and won the English Super Dish.
That's what I'm saying. He's used to the big moments.
The defenders will remember him. They'll remember him. Van Dijk will remember him.
But anyway, moving on from Arsenal, because it will be Arsenal heavy.
What are we saying about City? What are we saying about, like...
Well, just before we move on to City, I did, kind of City related. I was actually going to give some credit to Jack Grealish over
Everton. Everton's my favourite team to watch so far, bro. I'm not even going to lie. Everton are so good, bro. I've been watching them. What a team, bro. Moyes has been very, very smart in this window. And he's got my man from Southampton, the one who plays like Grealish on the left hand side, Dibley or something his name is. So he hasn't even started playing yet, but he got what's his name from Chelsea? Is it Drewsbury Hall?
In
midfield, quality player. So he's brought in two players that have impact change straight away. Just the way Everton play, the way they play with so much freedom, and just like they're able to just express themselves. I feel like that kind of football is such an old school way of football that we kind of miss it because of all these teams having so much structure. It's like watching Everton is like it's like watching a throwback. It's a breath of fresh air to watch that team, to be fair, man.
And he's at that point in he's at that point in his managerial career where he can kind of do that now, isn't it? Where he knows the game inside out as a manager.
But he seems comfortable.
There's there's a special. Can't you see the special link between that man and Everton Football Club? Come on, man. that man, right, I saw his underpants have got Everton written on them. Like. That guy, this Everton.
Wait a minute. Did he not win a trophy for you guys? Come on, man. Moyes, he brought you to you got your European
You
Cup,
guys
bro.
Sacked him up at the wrong time.
Listen, stop saying you guys and being disrespectful here. Listen, right? Listen. All I'm trying to say here is that Moyes was made for Everton. He loves them and they love him because what he's done for that club. He done so well for Everton that when Fergie retired, they wanted him for Man United, mate. So what are you talking about?
That's true.
What are you talking about?
I mean, we didn't want him. Fergie said, you're going to take this job. Yeah, he appointed him. He said, you're going to take over from me. He put the pressure on it.
So you're going to disrespect Fergie's wishes. Don't you think Fergie knows what he's doing? Yeah. Well, then
he made a wrong decision. He's a human being.
He made the wrong decision.
The call was wrong, bruv. He made the wrong decision.
I think the moment was just too big. The moment was too big. Yeah.
Fergie, wanted Moyes to have that same relationship that he had with the Everton team, fans, and everything with Man United.
But it's too big for him. Even Moyes said it was too big for him. He didn't know how to handle it.
No. Man United wasn't too big for him.
No, Moyes said that.
I don't care what you heard today. Let me tell you.
He said that out of his own mouth. I saw an interview.
Yeah. Said it, you was watching. We were talking about AI before. Yeah, that's what you was watching. let me tell you, bruv. Let me tell you. Yeah, it wasn't that Man United was too big for him. What it was is Ferguson's shoes was too big for him. You understand? When Fergie used to get Fergie time, bruv.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was feared in different ways, respected or whatever. He used to get his own extra time. Fergie time.
It's true.
Yeah. So come on. Moyes ain't getting that. No other manager's getting that. No one. You know?
And managers are getting that. Liverpool got 11 minutes the other day. What are you talking about? You're going to call that Fergie time? Nah, bro. It's not Fergie.
That's why Wenger hated Fergie like that. Not hated him, but that's why he used to bite him so much because he never used to get Fergie time. There was no Wenger time. There was no Wenger time.
There was no Wenger time.
You know what I'm saying?
In fact, they despised Wenger for most of his career, which is unfortunate because the guy was a great thinker, but he never really got the props that he deserved, to be honest, because he did change a lot in the Premier League. He changed a lot in terms of bringing in foreign players. He changed a lot in terms of style of play, culture, dieting, fitness. You know, he never really got the credit that he deserved. And I know a lot of managers now can play some sexy football, but he had that vision a long time ago, you know. But it's interesting. Yeah, go back to Man City though. I just wanted to bring up Grealish earlier because I just felt like it's nice to see him comfortable playing his football, doing his thing, and not being, I suppose, overshadowed by some of the other City players.
He's just held back. He's just been held back with Pep. Yeah.
But yeah, City.
Well, that's what.
They lost again, didn't they, this weekend?
They did. They did.
But Brighton. It's their bogey team as well. But they haven't really beaten Brighton in the last 3 games, to be fair.
Yeah, but there's a lot of teams now that are becoming their bogey team.
Tottenham's their bogey team.
Yeah, Arsenal's their bogey team. Like we're beating them. Tottenham's beating them. Brighton's beating them. Like, come on. Eventually, you got to start saying your shit. Like,
no, don't. We're not there yet.
Well, look at the players they've got. Yeah. If you compare the players that they've got in that squad and the striker that they've got in that squad, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing for the whole of last season.
So he's let Edison go, right? And he's bringing in this Donnarumma, who isn't a ball at the feet kind of goalkeeper. So I think that one's a bit strange. Akanji, I think, is going or is gone. He's letting like certain players go that I'm just like, that player's still good. Like,
still a good player. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that means he sees the team obviously on another level, and the players that he's trying to attract.
Yeah, but they're losing.
Yeah, they will be, but they've still got pulling power. They've still got power.
Yeah,
there's still players around the world that will blatantly come and play for Man City just because it's Man City. So he's kind of engineering something, in his Pep Guardiola. So he also knows that himself as a manager has got pulling power. There are players around the world that just want to play for him. They've heard the legends. They've heard the stories.
Yeah,
their window's good as well. Their window's good.
Their window was good.
Oh, yeah, they're players.
But there is something wrong with. There is something wrong. Like we can't now ignore. Yeah, that this whole saga since he's left his wife. Right, there's something going on. No, because you can't go from being unbeatable, playing the ridiculous amount of football that he did, and playing the bit. Like they literally just won. What was it? Not the quad. They didn't win the quad, but they won the treble, didn't they? Right, just the season before it all started crumbling. They've gone from that to having the worst season that they've had probably since he's been there last season. And it wasn't just, they lost so many games. That was just unusual. And
but as well, they're burnt out as well. I feel like they, do you know what I mean? They have so much success over the seasons that
they still had the
can't
same
always just continue, you know what I mean?
No, you can't, but you had the same amount of rest as everybody else. You had the same.
De Bruyne's gone. De Bruyne's gone.
And that's when you start thinking, is it certain, like, because they lost De Bruyne and then, Walker, that's a whole other. I couldn't even tell you how surprised I was when I saw him playing at Burnley. I was like,
AC as well.
I had to double take on my TV. I was like, was that Walker just hiding at Burnley? What's going on? But no, I mean, it seems to me like their midfield obviously took a knock in a way that it seems to be. They can't repair that. It's almost like he doesn't know how to repair that midfield. I mean, the new guy looks nice. Don't get me wrong. What's his name again?
Randers.
Yeah. He looks nice, but I don't know. It just feels to me like they're not the same. And also, I don't know if it's because they got what's his name up front. Oh my God, I'm losing everyone's names. Haaland up front. That's also a dynamic that changed a lot because now they became. Everything kind of goes through him as like a one-man striker. And I feel like in some ways that can be a hindrance because if he's not on form or if he's not willing to do certain things in certain matches, things are not happening. You got also my man as well, not being at his best. What's his name? England boy. What's his name? Bowden, yeah. So
he ain't even playing.
This is what I'm saying. It seems odd. And then obviously Jack Grealish didn't come off for them. He didn't want to play Jack Grealish and that was happening. There's certain things that happened in the last couple of seasons where he's made either the wrong decision of bringing certain players in or, again, is it just the fact that the midfield broke down, the service is not there, and that just materialised into no goals. But then their defence is just poor. Because it's not. They
might just need a new voice.
This is the thing.
They might just need a new voice.
It's not just the attacking. The attacking means if your attacking is crap, but your defense is strong, it just means you're going to be drawing a lot of games, right? Or not scoring. But that's not what's happening. They're losing games. They're losing games badly as well. Like last season, they lost some terrible matches to some. You can call them bogey teams, but there were a lot of teams that were beating Man City last season that shouldn't have been beating them. We beat them how much? Wasn't it 4-0?
Oh, at home.
Or 4-1. That was crazy. That wasn't Man City. We had people doing celebrations on the pitch that were getting talked about more than the goals. So I don't know. For me, I'm not looking at City this season as a massive threat. I'm not saying I'm going to write them off, but I genuinely think the problems hasn't stopped for them. I feel like...
they get top 4?
Yeah?
Do you reckon they'll get top 4?
Yeah. I would expect them to, but I would also not be surprised if they don't. Because I think it would only take a run of 4 or 5 games where they don't win. If they find themselves in the same situation as they were last season, I think now you're going to see a spiraling down because I feel like the mindset will kick in. They will start to think that they're no longer that team. And I think that's already begun in a way. I think if they had only lost 1 or 2 games last season, they wouldn't have got rocked. They got so rocked last season mentally because of the amount of games they were losing, goals they were conceding. Yeah, I think it changed a lot of the way they think on the field. The confidence is not there.
It reminds me a bit like
also Rodri was missing as well.
Rodri was missing. Yeah, sorry, go on, Sheg.
Now, as you said, the team thinking that they're not that team is similar to what I saw happen to Man United last season. You know, when the striker wasn't scoring, frustration up front, and you're like, the goalkeeper. Did you see that meme with the goalkeeper where he's got his gloves on, and he's got a knife and a big
butter knife.
and he's putting butter on his gloves. That's
real talk, though.
No, I digress. But I wanted to bring the point back round, to something is up in Man City. What you were saying, said. Has anyone else clocked the manager?
Yeah.
Have you noticed what he's been doing too much every single second of the day? What he does when he's on the pitch? Have you not noticed?
What, the spitting thing?
Yeah, bro.
That spitting thing, he's been doing that for time, bro.
Yeah.
No, don't you think it's more though now? Because it's more. It's like what is that? Did
There's something going on with him. There's something going on with him.
His wife, has he got marital problems or something like that? Did someone say that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he left his wife last season, which is when all this started happening. Unfortunately,
well, then what's your top fours quickly?
All right. Well, we're gonna have to be really quick because we're gonna have to wrap up this episode. But my top four: Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and City.
Same.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham.
Okay, that's surprising.
Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea.
Okay, cool. We'll see. We'll do this again next week as well. On that note, I think it's time to wrap up. And we'll keep it short and sweet. Thank you very much, Leon. Thank you, Sheg. Thank you, Rory. Thank you, listeners and viewers. And we'll see you again next week.
Subscribe.
Peace
Subscribe.
Like.